I've no idea if this is on. You'll have to tell me if it's come on. There seems to be a lag, you see. I've no idea. Are we on? Are we on? Somebody tell me. Is that yay? Yes, I'm live. Thank you, Paul Lynch. Live to drive, you're on. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm glad there's more than just me here. Although, yes, Heather, that's the missus in the front room with the spanner, you'll see by the side of the thing. That's so if any of you get naughty, she can kick you off. How are we? Crikey, I already can't read this fast. Glasses on, sorry. Right, we're on. Yes, mad about my metro. That's my friend Gary from work, or should I say work colleague, he said. Have you shaved, Rick? I always shave, Gary. I'm not like you. Nick's Garage, here to give you the support. Thank you, Nick. William Cherrington. Hello, Bill. I'm no spanner, says Heather. Well, we know that's not true. Hello, Ian. Heather. Oh, colleague. Yes, Gary, colleague. Before I kick off, there's a guy who always comments called Greyful. So some of you all know, you've seen his comments. He lives in another country. I don't know where he lives, but he's asleep now. He says he'll watch this on the repeat, but it's his birthday tomorrow, so I've got to say happy birthday, Gray. There you go. Happy birthday to Gray. I don't know some of these names, but it's nice to see all these names. I'm really glad that more than me has just turned up. 17 people. It's pretty good for me. Hello, Hooked on Classics, Simone. Hello, how are you? Austin Rover 2005. See, some of these names I don't know because you don't comment all the time. John Cotton Classics. Hi, John. John's got an Allegro as well. It's an estate one as well. He's going to give it me one day, I'm sure. Hello, Daniel Russell. What should we talk about then, people? You know, it's on you. I don't know what I'm doing here. Paul Hyam, hello. Matt, hello, KM Pika, that's Matt. He's one of the guys who years ago he's still got his Volkswagen van, but yeah, he's one of the guys that used to go Volkswagening with. Hooked on Classics, good, thank you. Been busy on the car, yeah, you've got a lot to do on that Cortina. I've been following Hooked on Classics channel. She's got a Mark III Cortina. That was my first ever car. So I think just by looking for Cortinas, I found that channel. So Wolves Wheels, hello, Mr. Bill. How are you? Chris Cocker, always comments. Hello, Chris. Jonathan Bramble, hello, Jonathan. Simon, hello. Your love of American cars, Simon, getting me in trouble already. American cars, I think this stems from one of the videos that I did where I just go, American car. The only American cars I like are ones from the TV shows when I was a kid, like the Dukes of Hazzard and stuff, and Smokey and the Bandit. I don't like American cars. So I think he's just already trying to get me going. Wolves Wheels Q&A. If you ask a question, I'll... Ricky said in a Patsy Palmer voice, Michael Hudson. Hello, Michael. Yeah. What do you think of the Allegro 3? Would you have one if you were offered one? It's the same as all the Allegros. It's just got black bits bolted on where the chrome bits were bolted on. They didn't do a great deal to it. The dash is a bit nicer. Would I have one? No, not really. The only Allegro I want is my granddad's one, which doesn't exist anymore, unless any of you have got AKV 442S hiding in your garage. Yeah, that's the only reason I've got an Allegro, because my granddad had one and it was the first car I ever worked on as a kid. It was the same as mine, 4-door Series 2 on an S-Reg 1300 Super, but it was the orange vermilion colour, as close as I could get. So there we go. Are you going to get a gimbal, Ricky? Andrew, yeah. Yeah, Andrew was helping me look for gimbals a while ago. I bought a, not a triple axis one, just a flims, you know, technical, I don't know, but I got a sort of one, but I'm thinking of getting a better camera, to be honest. So that's the idea there. Carl Jackson. Hello, Carl. Carl, I mean, there's plenty of you that have, but Carl's been with the channel from day one, I think, and comments on every video. So nice to see you here. Team Ballyho Classics. I've followed you yesterday. I think his name's Ian. Sorry if it's not Ian. He's got a mini Traveller, a little Woody Mini. He's in Northern Ireland. I have to get that right. Yeah. Jim MG Metro Turbo Lot. I don't like American cars either, Rick. Well, you know, like I say, I don't want to be bashing the American cars, but I guess it's just what you know, isn't it? I like Land Rovers and 70s and 80s cars. So you're not late, Team Ballyho Classics. You're not late. You've not missed anything. Do I prefer the square headlight Allegro or the quad headlight Allegro? Yeah, the quad ones were later, weren't they, on the Series 3s? I mean, if you want to give me an equip, I'll have that if you've got one hiding away. I don't really mind, to be honest. Like I say, Series 2 Allegro because my granddad had one. So Ricky, Ian Alice saying, Ricky, my first car was a Mark III Cortina, then an Allegro 1500. Oh, my first was a Cortina, but then it was a Escort Mark III. I've had 50 odd cars. Ridiculous. Michael Hudson, my favourite American car for that reason is a 1978 Dodge Monaco Plymouth Fury. I used to love them, from TJ Hooker. Yeah, Monaco is the, what was it, 1974 one in the Blues Brothers. Is, like I say, I know all the film American cars, but when did I build a sauna in my house? Oh, you mean the wallpaper behind? Yeah, that is when we moved in. I hate decorating, and that's whoever lived here before. It's, I don't know. I know what you mean. Mad About My Metro. When can Matilda meet Agatha? That Mad About My Metro is Gary from work, who's got a. If you look at the older videos on the channel, you'll see I did a red Metro. That was Gary. He's now sold the red Metro and bought an early one. I think it's on a Y plate, so he's called it Matilda. Yes, we're going to do a Matilda meets Agatha, but like I say, we need to wait till the weather is nicer so that we get better pictures. And also the lockdown's only just stopped, hasn't it? Any plans to buy any more classics, Simon Dixon? Well, don't forget Heather is watching this. Yeah, I thought about it, to be honest. In an ideal world, let's just move that. I know I haven't got much hair, but you can't see the whole of my head. In an ideal world, I would like to lay the Land Rover up in the summer and drive around in something in the summer. But Heather works from home now all the time and very rarely does a site visit. So her car's sitting there all the time. So it's kind of been sort of, I use her car 2 or 3 days a week just because it's sitting around doing nothing. So to get another car and then have her car sitting around, the Land Rover sitting around, the camper van sitting around, the Allegro in the garage, I don't know, maybe, but it'd have to be something that literally turned up and was too good to throw away, Bad Books. Hi, Ricky. Had you driven an Allegro before you got Agatha? No. I think I say that in the first ever video that I did. I'd only been in my granddad's one. I'd never even sat in another one. It was just I wanted to pick a classic car. That was the one. I was either going to get something I'd had before, which would have been a Mark III Cortina, but they were stupid money. Or it was, I think I may have told some of you this before. It was a toss-up between a Marina and an Allegro, simply because I'd had a Marina and an Ital before. And I wanted something like that, but the only reason I picked an Allegro was because I hadn't had one and my granddad had one. So no, I'd never. Yes, the love of Allegros, Ian Ellis, does come from my granddad. Yeah, he had an ADO 16 before that, but I was really little, so I can't remember that. Michael Hudson, did you buy that quarter panel off eBay I told you about? No, I didn't. No. I had a look at it, but no. Yes, Live to Drive. Yes, Paul. Yes, the equip was silver with an orange stripe. Yeah. 1750 sporty, quite fast thing, yeah, for an Allegro. Hooked on Classics. I found your channel after Alex's asset after Agatha went to the workshop. Yeah, Alex is she's got an orange Allegro called Peggy. Yeah, we've what's the word, linked each other's channels to each other, so that obviously there's not many Allegro channels out there. So yeah. Wolves Wheels, will you be taking the Allegro to the British Motor Museum for the? Yes, I will. We've booked. Well, we've booked so that we're not away in the van for 2 or 3 shows this year. That's one of them. The Milton Keynes one is another one, the Tom Morley one. Andrew Mackenzie, what do you think of the Cortic wheel after a week? I think it's exactly the same as it was because the car hasn't moved out of the garage. Obviously, I fitted that in lockdown. Lockdown ended on Monday, so you can now drive where you like. But I haven't, obviously, I've been at work all week. The first day I get free is bank holiday this Friday. And as much as I love driving the Allegro, we bought a brand new camper van on December the 4th, and I drove it back from the dealership and parked it on the drive. So it sat there for 4 months and has done 100 miles. So I'm going to use the 4 days of bank holiday to drive my new van and not the Allegro. Not a fan of it. It's going too fast. How's the square wheel? Yeah, we've just said that. I don't know yet. Metallic. I'm reading some of these, but there's no actual question in. I'm sorry. So, Gary, mad about my Metro. When do I get my £10 back from the NEC? Well, you're a shitbag. You are. Sorry about swearing. I shouldn't swear. Yeah, Gary, apparently I owe him a tenner for the NEC Classic show from like 5 years ago. He forgets that I then paid for his dinner, which cost more than a tenner, but we won't mention that. Anyway. KMP, do I fancy modifying the engine? What, in the Allegro, Matt? No, not really. I mean, Christ, you know me with petrol engines from the Volkswagen days, mate. I don't tend to. No, I mean, they will, won't they? It's a 1275 A series. You know, they put a lot of Allegros met their death because of minis, but no, I don't fancy modifying it at all. I quite like the fact of driving an old car makes you drive slow and potter about. So no, if it starts, I mean, we all know the terrible trouble I had with it when I first got it. If it starts now, I'm quite happy to leave it alone. I'm going to change the spark plugs in over the weekend, but nah, don't touch it if it doesn't work. So there we go. What else have we got? You're all talking to each other, so obviously on. When is the Milton Keynes show? Oh, off the top of my head, I don't know. Oh, I can tell you. Tell a lie. I can tell you that because it's in the latest edition of Cortic magazine, which is here, which features my car. And there's an advert for it in here. There we go. The Milton Keynes Rally. Can you see that? 26th of September. There you go. So that's another one we're going to. Right. Fingers crossed car shows are still on. Yeah, they better be. When and how, Nick D, when and how did your enthusiasm for Land Rover start? When I was 17, my first girlfriend at the time, her dad owned a farm and had a Land Rover. Obviously, farmers had Land Rovers. I think I was 19. I was with her for 13 years. When I was 19, I think I got my first Land Rover. So it was his fault. And yeah, from then on, the one I've got now is the 11th one I've had. So yeah, it's his fault. John, his name was. Lovely guy. He's dead now, unfortunately. But anyway, hey ho. That puts a dampener on things, doesn't it? Fun fact about the Equip, my dad was BMC BL mechanic for local dealership, and they had an Equip in the showroom. After 2 years of no interest, they removed the stripe and sold it the next day. Yeah, apparently there's more sets of wheels left of Equips than Equips, but yeah, anyway, excuse me, cup of tea. Twin carbs, yeah, you could, I suppose. Well, I'm going to say, Matt, you know more than me about what you can do to engines. Matt, who you're looking at, KM Pika there, has got a lovely Volkswagen bay window Type 2, and he's Subaru engined it, pulled the heart out of it, killed it, etc., etc. This is better than Corrie. Thank you, Gary. A lot of things is better than Corrie, although I haven't watched Corrie for years, so I don't know. Is Betty Turpin still on it? I don't know. Obviously, people in their 70s didn't like flashy cars. Well, no, well, I guess not. Andrew Mackenzie, it's normally on the 27th of September. Yeah, I think we checked it was the 26th just or something. This is better than Corrie, ha ha. 26th this year, better, yes. I think it was a leap year last year, you see. Have you ever tried to jack up the Allegro and see if the back window pops out, or is it a myth? It's a myth. If you see the amount of times I like to jack that thing up when the suspension has failed, then yeah. And no, they're not faster in reverse, and no, the windows don't pop out, and they're not banned from the Mersey Tunnel, blah, 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 blah. Although the wheels did fall off when they were new. If you could have any car, which would it be? My granddad's Allegro. You mean what? Sort of specify from past ownership? What? I don't know what you mean. Or a new car. Ask me. What are the nicest and worst things that you have noticed inside the Allegro? The nicest and worst things. The simplicity is the nice thing. There's absolutely nothing. No driver aids. No nothing. No. You know. I like the simplicity of it. The worst thing is the smell of the 70s. You think, yeah. Every time you open it, it smells of old man's farts. The oldest car I've driven was a Citroen traction Avant. What's the oldest car you've owned or driven? I don't know. I suppose the oldest car I've owned would be, it's all relative, I suppose, because I had one of my oldest Land Rovers was from 1969. But at the time of owning it, would it be as old as the Allegro is now? I don't know. But that's the oldest car I can think of that I've owned, 1969 Land Rover. Michael, no, Betty isn't all Hilda Ogden. You've shocked me there. I really... No rush. Much fitter women on now. Betty is dead. Really? You'll be telling me that Fred G doesn't run the Rovers anymore in his P6 Rover. What's the worst car you've driven or owned? Simon Dixon. Blimey. I had 50 odd cars, man. I had a Freelander 1800 petrol with the infamous Rover head gasket engine in. What is it? The K series. That was pretty terrible. Crap on fuel, really slow. Didn't like that at all. But I don't know. Why didn't you all ask these questions when I was asking for questions? And I'm on the spot now. A wheel bearing fault as per the video on YouTube. What, somebody else's video? Yeah, I think what happened with there wasn't a wheel bearing fault as such with Allegros years ago. What it was, excuse my non-knowledge of, normal roller bearings, taper roller bearings, they were different than the ADO 16 bearings, and the mechanics that were servicing them were winding the bearings up, thinking that they set the same as the ADO 16, and then they caused the bearings to fail was the big thing. I think they repaired the fault by sticking a different size washer on, and that stopped the bearing collapsing, I believe. That's what I like about my Moggy. Simple to work on. Love the smell of mine. It's more of an old classic car smell rather than 70s farts. I'm just playing to the crowd. It probably doesn't smell of 70s farts, but you can definitely smell a 70s car, can't you? This is better than talking to the wife. You should do this more often. What did you have for tea? Gary again texts me virtually every night saying, what's for tea? What did I have for tea? I had sausages and Yorkshire puddings, Gary. Any car, all new or old? Okay, what would I have? Man alive, I don't know. I'd like, to be honest, I would like any old Ford that I used to have in really good condition. They fetch stupid money now, though. They really do. What else? Modern cars. I don't know. I'd probably have an electric car if I could, to be honest. I'm not a Tesla, though. I'm not into that type of thing. But, just if we could get away with having an electric car, and I know, you just have to plan your journey a bit differently. I'd quite like an electric car. As much as I've got an old car and I tinker about with it, I'd much rather. I prefer driving the Mrs.'s Kia because it's going to start. You don't. New cars are great like that, but when they go wrong, computer says no. I can't be doing with that. Matt, didn't you have a 2-litre petrol Beetle? Yeah, I did have that. That was an automatic as well. Yeah, that was pretty bad, wasn't it? The blue one. Do you remember that? It was wire edge. Yeah, I did have one of them. See, I forgot half of the cars I've had. My oldest car was a 1947 Austin 10, same year as I was born. Wow. Well, you're a bit older than me then, Jim. Although I was born in 1968, so. There's an old 70s thing on YouTube. We'll see if I can find the link. Yeah, send me a message. Oldest car I've owned, 19 years. You've all driven older cars than me. What was the reg of my very first car? That's Gary. It was ORF 990P. It was a Mark III Cortina in bronze. I sold it to I bought it for 205 quid in 1987 from Cannock Car Auctions, and I sold it for 250 quid. Probably worth about 10 grand now. Is there any car you've owned that is scrapped that's now worth a fortune? Yeah, probably the Mark III Cortina. Loads. I mean, you didn't know at the time, did you, what you were buying? Like I say, you know, these Allegros were 50 pence at one time, weren't they? All I can smell in TC is the old PVC. Definitely smells old. Yeah, they do. Old cars just smell old, don't they? It's just, I think a lot of it's what they use to make them. Mad about my Metro. Mine was LON 466P, an Austin minivan. It was. And, you know, if you still had that now, minivans. Is there a car you've sold and then regretted it? I sold my first Land Rover, and then 18 months later, the guy came round. I said to him, not jokingly, if you ever sell it, I'll buy it back. And he came around and I bought it back. Then I sold it again. And I still look now, RPY 393G, it's sawned, and the MOT status is green. So I presume it's either still alive somewhere, but I don't know. Last time I saw it was in Cannock. I'd have that back just because I'm stupid like that. It was mentioned modifying the Allegro, the Maniflow Stage 1 kit would be a nice upgrade. Yeah, you're talking in gibberish. I know lots about diesel cars. I know absolutely. I'm rubbish on petrol cars. I have you on tape now saying you prefer to drive my Kia. Thanks, Heather. Yes. Well, no, I do. Well, you just press the button and start it. It's, you know. My dad had a Cortina 1600E. My dad had a Cortina 1600E, and he rolled it. He did, yeah. One for the Venga bus, yes. Heather calls her car the Venga bus because it's a Kia Venga. He loves your car, Heather, and he washes it weekly at work. Well, I don't wash it. I might wash it weekly, but I don't wash it weekly. What do you think about classic cars being converted to electric? I think it's brilliant. Some people really dislike it. I think it's going to happen, isn't it? I've got this conspiracy theory which I've bandied about for years, but bear with me. I think they allowed you to put black and silver plates on cars. They've stopped it now, haven't they, to 1980, because the government, you know, I feel like the guy out of Red now. It's the government. They're going to get, you know, the John Malkovich one. Yeah, I think there's a cunning plan to stop you using classic cars eventually. I just do. I don't know. So the black and silver plates is the first thing. The MOT and the tax exemption. They'll bring a law out eventually that if you're exempt, you're only allowed to drive 15 miles, or you're only allowed to do it on a Sunday or something like that. But yeah, I think eventually, I don't think they'll stop you buying petrol or diesel and all this worry about. I'm not worried about, you know, buying a new car. I think the problem is the price of the fuel will price a lot of people out of it. Is my opinion. It's probably crap, but you know. Anyway. Nice one, Heather. Yeah. I gave her the spanners to protect me, not to pick on me. There you go. I don't think, Michael, if you put there you go because you've sent a link, I don't think you can link on here. But if you sent me a link on message, I'll look at it later. It's mad how first car reg stick in your head. A lot of my car, I can reel off, you know, I would imagine 30 of the 50 cars I've owned, but maybe the Mondeo will be a car worth saving. Yeah, I've had about 3 or 4 Mondeos. I had, you remember the ST24, the V6 one? I had one of them. That was really fast. I used to love that. I scrapped a Mini 1275 GT for 30 quid. Yeah, we all did it. They were just nothing cars. It's like now, though, isn't it? You know, pick up, you know, 2000 Ford Puma, for example. There's hardly any of them left. They're fetching daft money now. They're just starting to pick up. I quite like them, but in the end, it'll be, you know, they were 50 quid, and I missed my Mark 1 Fiesta. Yeah, I've had a few Fiestas. I was quite into Fords when I had my Land Rovers. I always had a second car. I never relied on a Land Rover. You can't do it. So a lot of my second cars were Fords. I would say I was Ford. I always had a Land Rover. I went for Fords, then went completely off Fords onto Volkswagens. And now it's just crappy Rover stuff. Where's Wonk? Ah, yes, Wonk is Lee Allen, you know, channel favourite Lee Allen. is not here today. He's going to watch this on repeat. He has prior engagements every Wednesday, which I can't divulge. We've said it's a secret mission, but he's doing something that's against COVID law, I'll tell you. E10 fuel will kill a lot of classic cars. Well, yeah, you've certainly got to change your fuel pipes a lot, but it does something in the carburetor, I think. I don't know, does it do something to the bronze or the brass or something? I've read stuff. I'm not really up on it. Yeah, we'll just use, as Paul says, lift to drive. We'll just use super unleaded. I already put super unleaded in the Allegro. It's still E5 at the minute. But yeah, exactly. It's not just the fuel pipes, Simone. It's the it does something in your carburetor to the brass parts and everything. And anyway, I'm no expert. It's just what I've read. Good turnout at 40 plus. My God, yeah. I see. I'm not looking at that. I'm really struggling to read the comments. I feel like I'm ignoring people. But is Lee a gigolo? Yes, he is. Yeah. There's a bass player, really. If you know anything about bass players, we get all the girls. Nick's garage. I scrapped several Orion gears. Fiesta. Yeah. Again, I've had 2 or 3 Orions. I used to love Orions. Sierra 2000E, they were brilliant. They were, my mate had one of them. He used to love that Sierra 2000E. Really nice. That was on V-Car, that was. If you remember V-Car, it was like what they call category C now, or whatever they call it. Yeah. Have you got the chat on slow mode? I don't know. What am I supposed This is the first time I've done this. So yeah, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm looking over there. If you had the money, would you bring Agatha to concourse? No. No, because I said from day one, even on the early videos, the plan was to only ever get it rolling resto at first and then slowly do bits and bits. And it's actually costing me more money to do it this way because obviously I'm having parts fixed and sprayed that then need to do again. I don't want to be scared of using it. I see there's 100 really nice ones that nobody uses. And if I happen to open the door and bang it on the garage wall, then so be it. I couldn't have a car that I was scared to leave anywhere and get scratched and stuff like that. So no. I'm a bass player as well, Rick. So that's 3 of us then, you see. Yeah, little Lee, bless him, is a bass player. He's got an addiction. He must have about 15 basses. You will see, if you ever notice in the garage when I'm doing an intro or an outro, there is a picture of my band from the 90s stuck on the yellow cabinet where I still had hair. But I haven't played. There's another YouTube channel with my band on, which is remaining secret. I haven't done it for a couple. We reformed about 2 years ago just to see if we could still do it, and ploughed on with it. And then COVID hit, and then we've never done nothing since. So. Petrol. Have you seen KGF cars? Yeah, the Sierra RS 500. Yeah, it was put on our Burton car group. It's mental. 105 grand for a Sierra. Ridiculous. My first car I ever made move was a Sierra XR 4x4. Yeah. Stupid money. Fords, I don't know what it is, but they're crazy money. They are crazy money. I had an Astral metallic blue Allegro I bought for 75 quid. Scrapped it because the engine was knackered and I was losing my storage space. Wish I hadn't got it. It would be, we've all done it. You could start a band. Do you know what? If you're on the Allegro Facebook page, there's a guy on there called, oh God, what's his name? Anyway, can't think of his name. He's a bass player as well. I can think of his name, but I can't think of it. And he's a bass player. We've already talked about that. What's in your mug? Beer? No, it's tea, Gary. Tea. Not for fuck's sake. You could launch a band and call it Agadoo. Could do. I think it's been done. Black Lace. Was it Black Lace? Paper Lace? No, Black Lace. Paper Lace was Billy Don't Be a Hero. Can you remember the registration? Not of 50 of them, Gary, but no, I can remember a lot of them. Yeah, terrible for remembering registrations. Have I actually caught up? Blimey. Search for Flashback 5 or the Grab. Thanks, Heather, yeah. Yes, that's the band channel. Yeah. Or Agatha Do. Shake pineapple, shake the tray. Yeah. Tell us what you, Gary. It's really. Why do I want to tell you the name, the registrations? No. I recently bought an MG Maestro EFI. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Yeah. If you know the channel, I quite like that Maestro. That was good. That was, but I couldn't. Gary, everything's about food with you. Yeah, see, Paul's the same. He can remember about 35 or 40. It just is. I don't know. I mean, you can put me on the spot, but I can't, unless you tell me the car I had. I can't remember the number plate. I could be making it up, couldn't I? It's all about food, Heather. I can remember the number plates of all my, well, Wolves Wheels. I guess that's because you're probably, what, 20-ish? I don't know. You're very young, so you've probably only had about 4 or 5 cars. Have you finished your drive extension? Haven't caught up. No, but the stone is being delivered next Wednesday. Do you regret selling the Maestro? Yes and no. Again, we're back to the position where I wanted another Land Rover. It's taken me years to get back into a proper Land Rover, as we'll call it, the Defender shape, because they just fetch stupid money. I mean, when I paid £5,000 for that, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? This was 1,500 quid 10 years ago." So it took me ages to get back into owning a Land Rover. So I haven't got this. Well, I have got the space, but I know I'd never use them. So I had to get rid of one. The Allegro can't go, so the Maestro had to go, although I kind of wish I'd kept it, but I wouldn't have used it. Wolves Wheels 24. Well, yeah, I'm twice your age and some. 24. Wow. Are you not fixing the oil leak on your Landy? It will be. Yeah. Well, this is a moot point. This is. So it went in to the. I mean, a lot of people will complain that I don't do all the work myself. I don't have the time now like I used to. And if I crawl under a Land Rover like I did when I was 30, I can't walk the next day. The oil leak on the Land Rover. So when I bought it, it was an absolute. It was like the Exxon Valdez, which, again, for you youngsters, was an oil tanker that broke up and spilled oil everywhere. Anyway, I digress. It was a complete oily mess underneath. I knew the clutch was going. So when the clutch went, I said, you might as well do all the oil leaks underneath. To which there's no doubt in the world that he's changed all the gaskets on the transfer box, because you can see them, and it still leaks oil. So I have no idea. The saying is, if a Land Rover's not leaking oil, it's empty. It was leaking worse. We've had a new gasket on the sump now. That's stopped that. But there is still fresh transmission oil coming from somewhere, and I have no idea where it is. Gary, can you go for a wee, please? Yes, you did put your hand up, so you can. I've only ever owned 3 cars. What I will say to you, Jake, Wolves Wheels, is whatever you do, don't sell your first car ever, right? Remember this, because when you're 50 odd, you'll want it back and you won't be able to have it. Keep it. I had a red, this is Heather, I had a red Ford, colour-coded door handles turned pink in the sun. Well, most Fords did. My Focus was the same. The mirrors went pink. The petrol filler cap went pink. Everything that was plastic, yeah. Aaron's story, I'm only 23 and I can't remember the number plates of my last 2 cars. Well, you've got youth on your side. Wait till you're 53. What are your thoughts on resto modding, like what Retro Power does? Take an old car, stick a nice modern drivetrain. I mean, it's not something I do, but you know, I get why people do it. You make an old car more drivable. Why not? Retronaut, hello, long time no speaky. I remember far from, well, yeah, you are a bit weird. We know that. You've got a maxi, for God's sake. Oh, 2 maxis, more than 1 maxis. I don't know. Yes, Gary had a Cortina. You can't walk the same day now. Correct. Heather knows if I go under the Land Rover, I can't walk then. Yeah. Yes, Gary had an Allegro as well. An estate. I really love Allegro estates. Yeah. There's a place for people like us, car shows. There is. I can't wait to get to another car show. Yeah, it's not long now, though. Not long now. Yeah, I think it's British car things. I think all cars leak oil from somewhere. I can't even remember. Well, Nick, you do seem to get through some cars. I used to work for a company where my vehicle was a 109-inch Land Rover diesel long wheelbase soft top with a fairy overdrive. Mine had a fairy overdrive. Which marvelous truck went through half show. Yeah, they did. I put the 24 spline army drive shafts in my Land Rover, changed the diffs because it used to just shear them off. They were terrible. What are the highs and lows of running a YouTube channel? I don't know. Do you know what? Since about 6 months ago, I think I did a waffle about it. I got really paranoid that people didn't like what I was doing and should I change the name of the channel and all this. And I was bothered too much about what people thought. And in the end, I thought, you know what? When I first started this, I did it for me and X amount of people liked it. And then more people kept watching it. I just thought, sorry, I'm just going to do what I want now within reason. You know, obviously I'm not going to run around with me knob out, but I'm waiting for Heather to laugh in the front room. She didn't laugh. Yeah, so I just do what I want now, really. You like the Allegros, or she wouldn't come. You like the Land Rover, she wouldn't come. So that's why I did the thing at the weekend, really. I know everybody on YouTube is struggling for content. So I thought, you know what? I can do a bit of a waffle while I'm doing something on the garden and stuff like that. I ain't going to do things like, you know, here's me mowing the grass. But, you know, you certainly see some YouTube channels where you think, well, this content's a bit iffy for what it is. But, you know, just do what you want is what I do. I'm quite happy. And it's not just running this YouTube channel. Obviously, I do a second one as well for my camper van stuff, which it takes a lot. This is why I don't do flashy edit stuff and whatever. It literally is iPhone, edit in iMovie, bang it on. That's it. I can spend a whole Saturday filming something and putting it online for 300 people to watch. So you don't do it for money or anything. I just do it because I like it. Andy Perman, hello Andy. Yes, Andy is an Allegro, well, Vanden Plas. He's got 2 Vanden Plas Allegros. I've not met him yet, but we're quite looking forward to meeting Andy. Where have we got to? There's no shame in getting someone else to fix issues on your car if you don't have time or the skill. Do you know what? Years ago, it's not having the skills. Years ago, I went in like a bull in a china shop and would have a go at anything. And especially with Land Rovers, they're pretty easy. And older diesel engines, this is the thing with me. I know everybody says, oh, setting the points is easy. Oh, adjusting the timing is easy on a petrol car and all this. Yeah, if you've had them. I had old Land Rovers from the age of 17, 18, and I know all about older diesels. Once it got to common rail and ECUs and stuff, I'm stuck in the 70s and 80s with stuff like that. So that's why I struggle. And it's not about, it is about not having the time, but it's also luckily being able to afford somebody else to do it if you can't be bothered. You know, I go to work, I want 2 days to either go away in my van or mess about because I want to, not to fix a car just because I've got to. Wolves Wheels, I'm buzzing for the 2021 car. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to go to a few shows. I do like the Maxi, Rick. Do you think it would be possible to convert an Allegro estate to a pickup? Everything's possible if you've got the skills, isn't it? We've seen it on, you know, on Fast and Loud and stuff like that. Yeah, people, they can. I can't do that stuff, but yeah, you know, you've seen, if you know, like I say, keep going back to Land Rovers, but how they bobtail and truck bed Range Rovers and stuff like that. There's no reason why you couldn't do it. As I have said, Rick, film what you want and the true followers will come. That's right. That's Paul. Yeah, Paul on Live to Drive. I'll give him a bit of a plug here. His channel, he's only renamed it back Live to Drive recently. He's got 2 channels the same as me. Live for Travel was his original Live to Drive channel, where he did cars and camper vans on the same channel. But then he's just gone to his camper vans on that, and his Live to Drive one is now, he's building it back up. We're going to do some collaboration videos, hopefully, once we're allowed to, you know, walk next to people without having a mask on and stuff. He lives quite close to me. He's got a 2CV. Is it a dolly, Paul? The same as the Hubnut one, but in a lot better condition. I think it's called Dotty. I think if you look actually on his videos, I think Ed, Twin Cam Ed, filmed his car. How much did you pay for your first Land Rover? Don't know, Gaz. I can't remember. Maybe 600 quid. Rings a bell, but we'd be talking 1989, something like that. I can't remember. You should be proud of yourself. You never needed to change the channel. No, well, I changed the title of the channel very early on. When I first did the channel, it was called All Aggro the Allegro. And it wasn't. I kind of wish now I'd made it more catchy from the start. Like I'm quite jealous of all these people who have something catchy like, you know, like Hubnut or iDriver Classic or whatever. I still think having the word Allegro in the title is detrimental and it puts people off. But yeah, like I say, I don't really care anymore. You know, I'm quite happy that I had a goal in my head once I knew it was achievable to get to 1,000 subscribers before a year. I thought was great. So once I did that, I stopped really bothering, and it is what it is. KM Pika, you rebuilt your camper engine, okay, with said don't do. Yeah, well, yeah, the so my Type 2 camper, the engine packed up on that, and yes, we did rebuild the engine on that. Yeah, but like I say, with instruction, you know, I wouldn't have. Well, I guess I would, but you know, I could do anything. I just need a bit of a shove with it. What's in the mug, Ricky? It's tea. What else would be in a mug? Well, on a school night, anyway, it's tea. Do you film in 4K on the iPhone? I don't. It films in whatever it films in. I'm a technophobe. I've no idea. I don't mess with settings. I don't do nothing. I just press record. Yeah, I don't know. James Butler has an Allegro pickup, so it is possible. There you go then. What car show are you planning to go to first? Oh God. I think the Allegro one certainly will be the if it's not a local one by us, obviously being in a car group, it'll be one of them. But official car shows, there's a Land Rover show at Gaydon, which I can't remember the date of now, and then there's the BMC one, which is in July. So we're going to that one. Possibly is the first one. I just, without looking at a calendar, I can't remember. Yes, the dolly is named. Yes, it's a dolly named Dotty. There you go. I like Twin Cam. He's great. Yeah, Eddie's a nice lad. I met him at the BMC show. He sounded like Sean Connery. BMC show. Yeah, he's a nice lad. For a first live stream, yeah, doing great. Well, I can bloody talk for England. That's the problem, isn't it? Advice needed. We are likely to move to the country soon from the major metropolis, Northampton. When house hunting, should we concentrate on the house or the workshop, car storage the most? Well, naturally, you need a big garage with a small bedroom. I thought everybody knew that, you know. I would say the only thing I'd ever change about if I was looking for a house now, it's great having a long drive, but it's such a ball's ache to get everything out of the garage. I've got to move 3 cars just to get the Allegro out. It's really annoying. Plenty of us that like the Allegro. The derision gets it's rather unfair due to the car's history. Yeah, well, a lot of it's Clarkson, isn't it? You know, it's a fine entertainment program, but you know, the damage that guy has done for certain classics, Marina and Allegro, is amazing, really. Yes, Festival of the Unexceptional, Michael, I'm going to that as well. I forgot about that one. Like I say, we've got a calendar with all the dates we're going on holiday in the van and all the dates that we can't go because there's a car show, but I can't remember the dates. What is therapeutic is having a waffle with you on the laptop and having a Keith Albert Williams on TV, changing clutches. Do I need to get out more? Well, I don't know. I've no idea. I mean, possibly. As long as you're happy though, eh? Have you been recognised at any? That's a running joke with Heather. Yes, we were at a car show, and some guy walked up and goes, "Hey, you're the guy off YouTube with that Allegro." And I went, "I am, yeah." It was quite embarrassing. Yeah, I hope so too. What do we hope? Oh, festival. Yes, I'm going. Yes. Well, I'll recognise you this time. You won't have a mask on. Oh dear. 42 people watching this. I thought there was me scared that there was only going to be me. Richard Hammond is just as bad. Yeah. Did you see him smash that Allegro estate up? It was terrible. Yes, he did, Simon. I recognised him at the BMC. Yeah, Michael did recognise me, but I think you knew I was coming. You recognised the car, really. He's just being kind. Not sure if I'll go to Festival of the Unexceptional, as it's the same weekend as Himley Hall mini. Yes, it is. One of the guys off the Allegro page said that he could get Allegros allowed to have a stand there because he knew the guy who run it, and it wasn't until I looked that it was the same weekend, and you'd have to do 2 shows in one weekend. So can't wait to get my car to Cortina Day in Monmouth, then Gaydon. Yes. Monmouth, that Wales, Monmouthshire, maybe. I'm absolutely crap at geography. Heather will now be nodding and going, yeah, I mean, don't ever tell me where somewhere is and expect me to get there. I'm really bad. Oh dear. Right, I've caught up again. I'm loving it. Yes, Wales, it's in Wales. Good. There you go. Pretty good, eh? I must have drove through it and recognised the name of the place. Does anyone know what happened to that Series 3 Hammond smashed up? I read somewhere that it was on a sawn, or it was in a compound somewhere. It hadn't been written off, but if you did look at it, although he smashed it up, he didn't actually do anything majorly structural, did he? So it's not dead forever, is it? Rick, I thought the Falkland Islands was in Scotland. Well, so did I when I was at school. That was a running joke. I mean, when the Falklands got invaded, I thought, wow, how have they got that? It's only in Scotland. Yeah, that was true. Mini Life, I think it was scrapped. Yeah, I'm not sure. I did read something, but any plans for the future of the channel? I just keep going with whatever. Obviously last year I could do a lot more because we were locked down. We'd sold the motorhome, so we didn't go camping. So the channel and the car became my main hobby and pastime. Although I'm not planning on backing off too much with the channel. Obviously, I bought a brand new camper van, which I haven't even, well, I've slept in it on the drive, but I haven't even been anywhere in. So, apologies to you guys, but I'm going to go away in my van a lot more weekends than I do Allegro fiddling this year. So you'll still get videos, and car meets and stuff, but certainly won't be as prevalent as I was. I'll be at the Festival of the Unexceptional in one of the VPs, both off the road, which one I've managed to fix. Yeah, well, I'll see you there then. I was very unimpressed with Hammond. Yeah, well, like I say, they've wrecked loads of good cars. I mean, when they tried to do the Guinness Book of Records for jumping an Allegro in reverse, that's on YouTube. James May did that. So they've wrecked plenty, but again, they were worth nothing. It's just, I think my biggest bugbear with Top Gear is once they got their teeth into the Marina Club and wrecked them for the sake of it. It was just ridiculous. They just became very childish. And I no longer watch Clarkson and the like. I'm not really a fan of Top Gear, but Heather likes it and we do watch it. I think it's a lot better than it was when it was Chris Evans. It's still the same sort of format, but they're not as stupid, are they? So very jealous of all these shows. There's no sign of any shows over this side of the Irish Sea now. Well, it is a shame, isn't it? But hopefully we'll get through this. I mean, us older people now that have had the 5G upgrade will be safe soon. So yeah, well, let's hope so. What about Agatha merch like Hubnut? Are we a bit premature with that with 1,000 subscribers maybe? Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of people do. They start off with stickers and stuff and see how it goes, don't they? Stickers is the first port of call with anything. I don't know. I've not even looked into it. I've thought about it because I've had my own stickers made that I stick on the cars, as you know, with their names on and the YouTube channel on. But yeah, I think I need a few more subscribers before I go down the merch thing. Like I say, I don't do it for the money. It'd be nice to actually, get something for the time that I spend on it, because obviously some of the stuff I do, I needn't film, and I can spend the whole afternoon filming something that I could have done in 20 minutes if I didn't have to film it 3 times because I swear. So yeah, need to see more of Lee on the channel. Yeah, me and Lee work well together. We do like doing it. It's just, like I say, we sort of broke the COVID laws the other day when we did the steering wheel video. The only reason he came was because I hadn't got a socket big enough to get the steering wheel off. So yeah, Lee likes doing it. I like Lee. We get on great. So Lee will feature more. Yeah, we have fun, so it's cool. Did it take much to convince Heather to allow you to have the extra parking? Everything I do costs me. No, not really. Heather's really cool about the car stuff. So no, I do. I do all the outsidey stuff, and she's quite happy with it. She's the planner of the thing, of the relationship, and I just do all the donkey work. But that's cool. No, she's happy with. If she's really great, because if I'm happy, she's happy. I don't take advantage of that, but no, it's great. I'm about to go. Will you be doing this next week again? No, probably not. I'm it's been successful-ish, so I might do it again, but no, I wouldn't do it every week. Blimey. I don't even know what, I mean, Christ, it's been nearly an hour already and it's flew by, but no. There was me thinking I could scrape off an hour out of it with 3 people watching and not be embarrassed, and I've done nearly an hour, so. Who else has anything due to be free from car tax tomorrow? I have the Princess and the Citroen CX. Oh, well, I've got 3 years to wait for the Land Rover. I think, what's it, 1987? When does that give me? 40 years? 5 years? I don't know. Anyway, while off the Land Rover. Allegro's free anyway. It could be MOT exempt if I wanted it to be, but I still have it MOT'd. Newest Top Gear series is the favourite. They all seem to be sensible. Yeah, it's not too bad. Like I say, we watched the last series that's on at the minute, and they destroyed a Mini. Did they? Oh, they did. The original Top Gear did when they did it down the ski slope, didn't they? And put rockets in the back. I remember that. Sales from merch could go towards Agatha's upkeep. Yeah, it could. Like I say, but with 1,000 subscribers, and realistically, most videos only get 300 or 400 views. Out of that, percentage-wise, who's going to buy a sticker? I don't know yet. I think you need 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers before you start. I felt like I was being up my own arse doing this today, thinking, "Oh, am I big enough to do a live stream?" So I don't know about stickers yet. Do you have to book your car in to get tickets? Yes, you do. They haven't released details yet. If you find it on the Facebook page, they'll announce it when it's. Lee is in your support bubble. Without him, you are stuffed. Yeah. Well, we actually, in Burton Car Club, we call Lee the 4th emergency service. He seems to be able to fix everybody's car. So, yeah. Will you be looking at any more of Lee's? Fantastic. Yeah. Well, when we first did Lee's cars, that was kind of the first idea for doing the Agatha Meets thing. And yeah, I would like to go over them. We rushed them, really. I did 4 cars in one episode and didn't look at them all. Yeah, so it would be nice to go over them again, maybe. So once a month would be ideal for a live stream. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess so. It's clashing with other ones. I mean, Friday nights would be great because I could have a beer and have a laugh, but all the big channels do it on a Friday night, and I guess there's only so many here because there's nothing else on. See you, Gary. See you tomorrow. Right. Renault 4, must have seen that one. I haven't seen that one. I'd love to drive a Nuston Princess. Yeah. Like I say, Lee's got 2 Princesses and 2 Ambassadors. I've not driven. I don't like driving other people's cars. It's crazy. This is a lot of the reason behind the Agatha Meets thing. It's not that I don't trust myself. I'd hate for something to happen if I was driving someone else's car. So I tended to throw a different spin on it, and they drove their car and talked to me. So unlike the Evergreen, you're sailing through this. That's ship, isn't it? Yeah. Very good. Top Gear, bring back William Woolard. Is he still alive? I remember when Noel Edmonds did it, if you remember that, and Angela Rippon. I'm showing my age now. I was petrified doing my first live video. Yeah, well, like I say, I'm quite lucky in the fact that from 20 odd years of being on a stage in a band, I'm not afraid of being in front of people. I was more afraid that nobody would turn up. And obviously looking like a knob in my glasses, because I don't like wearing glasses, but I can't read a thing without them. Northern Ireland has finally caught up with the rest of the UK, so travellers at least at MOT exempt. I always do my own mechanicking, and I'm more confident that I know. Yeah, well, this is true. I mean, you only know you've done it properly if you do it yourself. But like I say, a lot of it with me is time and can't be arsedness. I think as you do more videos with other people, your subs should go up. Well, I don't know. It's hard. A lot of the publicity with YouTube is what they tend to decide to promote. I mean, that abandoned car garage went mental for a few weeks and got me 200 or 300 subscribers in a fortnight. It was crazy, but then it dropped off and now nobody watches it again. So it's how they push your channel. It's a lot to do with the algorithms that they use. Who knows? So collabing will help views. Yes, it will. Yeah, I think. Do I miss the Maestro at all? Yes, in a way. 50 odd to the gallon compared to 20 odd to the gallon in the Land Rover. Obviously, it's doubled my fuel bill. But I was getting fed up of it breaking down all the time with that fuel problem that it kept. It was really, because obviously the tank was full of crap or something, or the pipes were breaking down. But by the end, I'd had enough of it. What's everyone's opinion of using a Classic as a daily driver? It depends what you call a Classic. You wouldn't want to use something that was really nice, would you? That's why I think a lot of people use a 20-odd-year-old car rather than a 40-odd-year-old car. Yeah, like Wolves Wheels said, it's knowing that, it's knowing that you can go in your, if I start the Venga and go to work, I know it's going to get there. When I was going in the Maestro and it was playing up, I never knew if I was going to get to work on time, and that isn't good. Nick's Garage, great first live. Yeah, it's gone better than I thought, to be honest. I don't want to outstay my welcome, though. That's the thing. I don't know how long to crack on with this. I mean, we've been nearly an hour already. It's mental. I was sort of thinking people would be going, I'm going now, and there'd be like one person left, and I was going, oh, maybe I should go. I will be asking advice. Will that be £5? Yeah. Paul on Live to Drive says, yeah, I was asking him about you, because he's a lot more technical than me with the YouTube, and he says it's £5 a question. Yeah, I use my. Don't tell me you've got a Toledo. I really love Toledos. We looked at them as a choice, not instead of the Allegro. Afterwards, I was thinking of getting something else, and I love Toledos. Really nice. Got to go now, Rick. Yes, no problems. Anybody free to go. I was sort of, as you drop off, I was going to go, but while we're happy, I mean, I'll stop for a bit longer, but I obviously want to go and have a sit down in the front room and chill out. Keep going. Steve. Hello, Steve. Keep going. I joined late. You've not missed much. I probably still haven't drank all night. This is going to be freezing now. People talking amongst themselves. Aaron, you should do a vid with Rick. Well, I don't know where Aaron is, but yeah, I'd love to. I love Toledos. I think they're sort of in the shade of the Dolomite. Everybody seems to want a Dolomite or a Sprint or something, but I quite like the Toledos one. Very nice. What have we got? Anything else, or shall we start wrapping up, or what? You tell me, people. You tell me. The chat's gone very quiet, so you need a comparison. Your 90 versus my Perth. Well, that depends on whether you can get your P38 to start with all the electrical problems that they have. I've never had a Range Rover at all. It's the only Land Rover mark I've never had. I'd like an original, 2-door Range Rover if you've got one of them. Keep going. Yeah, I did tell Heather I'd only be an hour though, so I don't want to take the piss. And I apologise again for swearing. I can't. How very dare you? But you know it's true, Steve. These P38s. You can't tell me that you've got no electrical problems on that P38. Tell me it's not true. Yes, John, goodbye. I shall catch you later. Thanks for coming. I could stay here forever, but I've run out of questions. Yeah, well, I haven't run out of answers, but I don't want to, I don't want to be the last man at the party going, hello, is anyone still here? Yeah. Tell you what, just fade away and I'll be quite happy. It's fine. Here's the score then. When it gets down to 30 people, I'm going. So if you all leave now, we're both not embarrassed. Thank you, Philip. I'll see you soon. Heated seats don't work. Other than that, it's fine. It's still electrical. It starts there. What do you consider the last proper rover? Wow. Certainly none of them Honda-y ones. I don't know. Probably, I'd imagine the SD1, to be honest. Don't think there was much good after that. I do like the Hyacinth bucket ones, though. The SD3s, they're quite nice. Do your dogs enjoy helping when you're tinkering? Yeah, the dogs, yeah, they do make an appearance now and again, don't they? Yeah, they're all right. They're just nosy. How about some jokes, Rick? I told a joke earlier. I can't think what it was. You put me on the spot now. Well, Rick, 1 whole hour and plenty of thumbs up. Yes, well, there you go. Heather Dodds, I saw it up to 48 watching. Thank you. Well, I'm not looking at this. Is the thing. I've only recently noticed there's a clock in the corner up there, and the people. No, I don't think the Allegro National is going on this year, Andy. I've had the Cortic magazine tonight through the post, and it says in there it's not. So no, I don't think so. Yes, Ian Ellis. See you next time. No jokes. They're really bad. Yeah, I do excellent dad jokes, like my one earlier on Facebook. People are shocked when they find out I'm not very good at being an electrician. See? I'll get it in a minute. You're supposed to be going now. Look, I said when 30 people were left. Now there's 36. Go away. Go. Yeah. Okay. I think your name's Ian. Team Ballyhoff Classics. See you later, mate. Thank you. Thanks for coming. See you, Eddie H. Thank you. Come and say hello, Heather. No, she's in the front room with the dogs, and I've said, do not let the dogs in here. They will get on my nerves. We are a what? There is a silent pause after your joke. Yeah, well, there always is, isn't there? Tumbleweeds, you see. We are all staring at the screen, watching you staring at the screen, yes. The quality in the stream is great. Good sounds, no buffering. Yeah, well, you can thank TalkTalk for that. Yeah, Paul Lynch, no problem. Like I say, I really only wanted to do an hour, and there's 33 of you left. Who's going to go? Come on. Oh, don't join 34. We need 4 people to go so we can both agree it was. Now there's 35. Mini life bar, yes. Right, I am going to go because I said an hour. We've done an hour and 3. It has been good. I don't want to outstay my welcome because then I'll feel like I can do another one. I will catch you all later. Thanks for coming. It's been great fun. We will do another one. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you later.